Jnana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipano Sadharma Samstapako Lokanamittakarino Tribhuvane Manya Saranyakaro Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Nandena Mataliko Bande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyago Shri Jiva Gopalago. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis, namely Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatana Goswami, Shri Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, and Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus they are honored all over the three worlds, and they're worth taking shelter of because they're absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in transcendental loving service of Radha and Kṛṣṇa. Reading from Nectar of Devotion, which is the summary study of Rupa Goswami's bhakti-rasa Sindhu, and the summary study is presented by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. This is chapter 17, Ecstatic Love. By the process of executing regulated devotional service, one is actually elevated onto the transcendental stage, beyond the material modes of nature. At that time, one's heart becomes illuminated like the sun. The sun is far above the planetary systems, and there is no possibility of its being covered by any kind of cloud. Similarly, when a devotee is purified like the sun, from his pure heart there is a diffusion of ecstatic love, which is more glorious than the sunshine. Only at that time is the attachment to Kṛṣṇa perfect. Spontaneously, the devotee becomes eager to serve the Lord in his ecstatic love. At this stage, the devotee is on the platform of Uttama Adhikari, perfect devotion. Such a devotee has no agitation from material affections and is interested only in the service of Radha and Kṛṣṇa. To clarify, in the previous chapters, the symptoms of devotional service were explained, along with instructions as to how they can be executed with our present senses, gradually rising to the platform of ecstasy of spontaneous love. And the two kinds of devotional service, namely devotional service through regulative principles and through spontaneous love, were discussed. Within the stage of the regulative principles of devotional service, there are two divisions, namely executive and effective. This effective portion of devotional service is called bhava, or ecstasy. In this connection, there is a statement in the Tantras that ecstasy is the first symptom of pure love for the personality of Godhead. In that stage, one is sometimes found shedding tears or quivering. Not only are there symptoms manifest, but occasionally, not always are there symptoms manifest, but occasionally. When King Ambarish was put into difficulty by Durvasa, he began to think of the lotus feet of the Lord, and thus there were some changes in his body, and tears were falling from his eyes. These symptoms are activities of ecstasy. They're visible in the shivering of the body and the shedding of tears. After the outward appearance of these ecstatic symptoms, they stay within the mind, and continuation of the ecstasy is called samadhi. This stage of appreciation becomes the cause of future exchanges of loving affairs with Kṛṣṇa. Elevation to this stage of ecstasy can be possible in two ways. One is constant association with pure devotees. The other way is by the special mercy of Kṛṣṇa, or by the mercy of a pure devotee of Kṛṣṇa. Elevation to the ecstatic stage of life is generally attained through association with pure devotees, while elevation to that stage by the special mercy of Kṛṣṇa or his devotee is very rare. The purport is that one should execute devotional service rigidly in the association of devotees, so there will be certainty in raising oneself to the ecstatic position. In special cases, of course, there is special favor from Kṛṣṇa, and although we should always expect that, we should not sit idly and simply wait for Kṛṣṇa's special mercy. The regular duties must be performed. It is just as when sometimes it is found that a person who never attended school or college may be recognized as a great scholar, or an honorary degree from great universities may be offered to him. But this does not mean that one should avoid school and expect to automatically receive an honorary degree from some university. Similarly, one should devoutly execute the regulative principles of devotional service and at the same time hope for Kṛṣṇa's favor or for his devotees' favor. An example of rising to the stage of ecstatic love by executing regulative principles of devotional service is given in the story of Narada, which is described to Vyasadeva in Srimad Bhagavatam. Narada tells there of his previous life and how he developed to the stage of ecstatic love. He was engaged in the service of great devotees and used to hear their talks and songs. Because he had the opportunity to hear their pastimes and songs of Kṛṣṇa from the mouths of pure devotees, he became very attracted within his heart. Because he had become so eager to hear these topics, he gradually developed within himself an ecstatic love for Kṛṣṇa. This ecstatic love is prior to the pure love of Kṛṣṇa, because in the next verse Narada confirms that by the gradual process of hearing from the great sages, he developed love of Godhead. In that connection, Narada continues to say in the 5th canto of the Bhagavatam, "First I passed my days in the association of the great sages during the rainy autumn season. Every morning and evening I heard them while they were singing and chanting Hare Kṛṣṇa mantra, and thus gradually my heart became purified. As soon as I heard them with great attention, the influence of the modes of material ignorance and passion disappeared, and I became firmly fixed in devotional service to the Lord." These are practical examples of how one can develop to the stage of ecstatic love simply by the association of pure devotees. It is essential, therefore, that one constantly associate with pure devotees who are engaged morning and evening in chanting the Hare Kṛṣṇa mantra. In this way, one will get the chance to purify his heart and develop this ecstatic pure love for Kṛṣṇa. The statement is also confirmed in the 3rd canto of the Bhagavatam, where Lord Kapila says, "My dear mother, when a person is actually in association with pure devotees, the sublime potency of my devotional service can be experienced. In other words, when a pure devotee speaks, his words act upon the hearts of the audience. What is the secret of hearing and chanting? A professional speaker cannot impress transcendental ecstasy within the hearts of the listeners. However, when a realized soul who is engaged in the service of the Lord is speaking, he has the potency to inject spiritual life within the audience. One should therefore seek the association of such pure unalloyed devotees, and by such association and service, a neophyte devotee will certainly develop attachment, love, and devotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead." In the Padma Purana, there's a story of a neophyte devotee who, in order to raise himself to the ecstatic platform, danced all night to invoke the Lord's grace upon him. Sometimes, however, it's found that without undergoing any devotional process, one all of a sudden develops devotion for Lord Kṛṣṇa. The sudden development of devotional attitude in a person must be understood as a special mercy of Kṛṣṇa or his devotee. This apparently accidental development of ecstatic feelings through the causeless mercy of Kṛṣṇa can be divided into three groups: simply by speaking, simply by glancing, and simply by good wishes. In the Naradiya Purana, there is a statement about development of ecstatic love simply by speaking. Lord Kṛṣṇa said to Narada, "O best of the Brahmins, I wish that you may develop unalloyed devotional service to me, which is full of transcendental bliss and all auspiciousness." In the Skanda Purana, there's a statement about developing ecstatic love towards Kṛṣṇa simply by glancing. It is stated there, "When the inhabitants of Jangala province saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kṛṣṇa, they were so stricken with feeling they could not withdraw their glance from him." As far as heartfelt wishes are concerned, there's a statement in Shukha Samhita where Narada tells Srila Vyasadeva, "You have a son who is the greatest devotee of the Personality of Godhead, and I can observe that without any following of the regulative principles of devotional service, he's already enriched with many of the symptoms achieved by the execution of devotional service after many, many births." As for ecstatic love of Kṛṣṇa, there's a statement in the 7th canto of Bhagavatam in which Narada addresses King Yudhisthira. "My dear king, it's very difficult to describe the character of Prahlad. He developed a natural attraction for Kṛṣṇa, and whatever I can explain about his character will simply be an arrangement of words. His actual character is impossible to describe." This means Narada himself admitted that the natural development of Prahlad's ecstatic love was by the grace of Lord Kṛṣṇa. This natural attraction for Kṛṣṇa on the part of Prahlad was developed simply by the mercy of Narada. When Prahlad Maharaj was in the womb of his mother, he was being sympathetically instructed by Narada about the science of devotional service, and at the same time, Narada was wishing that the child within the womb could also take advantage of the instructions. Because Narada, an authorized devotee and great associate of the Personality of Godhead, was desiring auspiciousness for Prahlad Maharaj, he developed all the characteristics of a high-grade devotee. This is called natural attraction. It is caused by the special grace of the Personality of Godhead or by the special grace of a great devotee like Narada. There's a statement in Skanda Purana wherein Parvat Muni tells Narada, "My dear Narada, of all saintly persons you are so great and glorious that simply by your good wishes, a low-born hunter also has become a great elevated devotee of Lord Kṛṣṇa." This ecstatic love for Kṛṣṇa can be divided into 5 divisions, which will be described by Rupa Goswami later on.